So, what are these few days them getting a head start? Like, what are the goals for them? It's a short period of time, but what are you guys looking for here?
I think it's a good opportunity for these guys to see who put the work in the summer. It's a competition. They're here to learn. We have tons of resources for them with development guys and the training staff. So they're here to learn, but they're also here to compete and put the work in to try to take that next step.
Are there guys you can maybe speak to a little bit who you feel like are close, and this could be an opportunity for them to maybe get into that competition to fight for a roster spot?
Well, I think that's what this week will decide. What players took that next step. So we'll see. They're going to determine who gets that next opportunity, whether it's in Hartford or earns a contract for free agents or guys to make the team. So these next few weeks will determine that.
Wanted to ask you about Matthew Robertson. Just where do you feel like he's at in terms of the organizational depth?
He's in a good spot. He's developed in Hartford. He's done a good job. He's had some good moments. Another big week ahead for him, and he'll be ready for main camp. And he's made growth over the last few years, so we're excited.
What specific areas do you feel like you're looking for a little bit more from him?
I don't know if it's more. It's just, the National Hockey League's tough. The American Hockey League's tough for young guys. I think just, maybe some consistency and just round out his game all around. But he's taking steps, and everyone develops at different rates. So we're happy with him.
You've got a few guys who turn to pro, Hoffman being one of them. We just spoke to him. What does that mean now for him to now be a professional, compete, whether it's Hartford, whether it's here? What are you excited about with him?
Well, he's a excellent player. He has offense. He's feisty. He plays a good two-way game. It is the next step. So he has the next few weeks to prove where he's at, whether he's the American Hockey League or if he's pushing for anything with the NHL. That's up to him. These guys will determine, where, the decisions that'll be made will be determined by how they play in the next few weeks.
What do you look for from a leadership perspective from guys maybe who've returned or been through this before?
I think it's important for those guys just to show the young guys, the way. Sometimes even just how to act, how to be a professional. It's different being in college and junior and then getting, to the American Hockey League level. So just how to conduct themselves. We have a certain standard here, how we want, players to act, at the rink, on the ice, competing, and away from the rink, and how you treat people and things like that. So they can add a lot of, leadership in that regard.
If I can ask about Hannah, how much do you know about him? He's an undrafted guy and came to development camp, signed a contract with you guys, but obviously you saw something in him that you liked, but what is it about him that you like?
He plays fast. He's aggressive. He's got offense. He played his overage year in junior. Had a good year. He was on, our radar to bring in. Came into development camp and did a good job, earned himself an opportunity. And, that's what every one of these kids has here is an opportunity. And he had a development camp, and now he has another one.
What did you see from Dylan Garand this past season, particularly in the playoffs, too?
He had a good season. He grew as a 20-year-old goaltender. It's very, very tough to establish yourself. And he had a good year. He got better as it went along. And he's on the right path. And, again, we're excited about his upcoming year.
When you have a guy like him and Louis Domingue, splitting time in down there, how do you balance, developing but, also having a more established guy like Louis Domingue on the roster?
Yeah, I think, honestly, that's more of a question for the coaches and the goalie coaches. I think there is a balance,
yeah.
And I would personally rely on their expertise for that.
You've been here a few years now. A lot of the guys that have been drafted before you got here have graduated, some high picks that are on the NHL team now. Where do you feel like the state of the prospect pool right now? Like, how do you feel about the guys that you've added and where you guys are now? Do you feel like there are some guys who could impact the roster in the near future?
Yeah, I think it's it's a slow and steady process when you're not picking particularly high like the team was previously. But I think we've added depth, and there's a lot of guys. We haven't had real high picks, so there's guys that are just going to take time. But I think that we have a good stable of prospects, and we look forward to just seeing them this week and where they go.
And the kind of climbing the ladder as we see guys go through the AHL, it seems like there's a lot of guys, maybe new guys there, like Sikora, Berard could be there this year, that are, sort of making that transition. Those guys, you feel like maybe the later round picks, they're coming along to a point where you feel like you see some encouraging signs where they could impact the bottom six, things like that?
Yeah, for sure. All those guys have had have progressed since we've drafted them. They're all hardworking kids. They're all determined. We like their effort and attitude, and they put the work in the summer. So that, again, I always say opportunity. There's an opportunity in the next few weeks for them to just continue improving and make an impression on, on the management staff and, more importantly, the coaches.